Alright, welcome back to Soul Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Renew. And today we got another reading for you. We got the Change deck. And yeah, this is reading number 2 of the day. So let's get started with this guy. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I listened to my advice from the previous message, and you know what? Spot the fuck on for me in my life at least. So I'm feeling pretty good, and I hope you're feeling good too. So like, comment, subscribe. Let's get these good old heartfelt, long-winded messages out. They're deep, but they're true. And so again, I'm always, I like to make it known, this is me being as authentic and as genuine as I can be, and I'm not an elementary school classroom, bro. I'm not a simple person. I'm not. I'm actually very, very complex, but I'm so simplified in my complexity, you wouldn't even know it. Which is the idea of being a precocious child. Some kids are just stupid. Some kids are just dumb. But that's just because they're dumb relative to the situations around them. They're actually super intelligent in their thinking and processes in ways that are way beyond normal people's scope. But because that normal person is used to regular ass people, they call kids dumb. And so, just like you can still have that super duper smart kid, that kid will be dumb if you put them in a new space, a new environment, give them a new routine. So for me, I understand the differences between differences. I'm a pretty engaged dude in regards to fractions and differences and looking at separations. I like to separate people. I like to categorize people. I like to judge people because it helps me see how to properly analyze them. And so, as I've been analyzing myself, this is the yap session, I've been realizing that my life has prepared me to be really skillful in a lot of things that I just never would have known that I would have needed. So like I said in the last reading, affirmations help you prepare for pop quizzes. And so just because you're affirming something in the present moment right now doesn't mean you won't ever use it in some future present moment. You study your topics not because you know what's coming up, so you can know when it does pop up. Again, you don't know when the pop quiz is happening. So if you've been studying and you get the pop quiz and you do well on the pop quiz, guess what? That justifies all the previous actions. What if you never get a pop quiz? That still justifies the action because at the end of the day, are you progressing? Are you productive? And yeah, you are. So, yep, with that being said, this reading today, we're going to do what do you need to know? So what do you need to know about your mind? What do you need to know about your body? What do you need to know about your fire? And then the fire brings those other two things or tempers those other two things together, which generates emotional value. So that's where we're at today. We're going to look at seeing where we can apply some of these good energies. Again, it's good energies just because yesterday it's telling us how we were transmuting our old defeats into new conquering territories. So I was defeated yesterday, man. I was sad. I was so sad and just fucked up, even though I was trying hard. So I just stopped and just let myself be defeated. Took my ass to the park, laid down, took a nap, and then was woken up rudely, angry, but then realized that I can make different actions and choices over the things that I was thinking and feeling I should have done. So that helped me realize that I was clearing my emotions on the next day. So today is the next day, and even my numeral, my numeric astrology of the day was even telling me I need to like slow down. And so I did. I chilled, I slowed down, I moved slow, I didn't rush to do certain things. And then when it was time, I still didn't rush, but I felt like I did so much. So between that last reading and this one, I've done so much and had so much fun and had so many realizations. And so I did something that I haven't done in such a long time. And in the previous reading, our final message was, go to the ocean. I'm not by the ocean. I don't have a tub. I don't have anything to give me those things. So what did I do? I'll go to this park. There's a splash pad playground. Boy, I was over there in the cold. This little girl running around with her dog. Her parents is over there chilling. They talking. There's some park people over there too. So everybody was just chilling. It was good vibes. And I went over there, and then I was like, ooh, ha, ooh, ha, ooh, ha, and they're just watching this big ass black dude playing around in the splash pad, man. I had so much fun. I was over there for like 10 solid minutes because, again, that shit was cold, boy, and where I'm at is hot. And so the fact that the water was so cold in a place where it's so hot, that should show you how cold it was. It was like doing an ice bath. That's how cold it was. And so I after I was running around jumping through all the little water spouts and shit, I sat by one of them, and then I just treated it like it was an ice bath. And so every time I would I would breathe, but then when it would start coming up, I would start breathing heavy, extra hard, like. And so it's funny because that's the same exact breathing that I was doing yesterday when I was pissed off. And so if I had to put myself into a personified form, that breathing version of me when mad is the same breathing version of me when he was scared to sit by the goddamn cold. So that is two clear, distinct, different versions of the same ego. Two clear, distinct versions of the same ego. It was the same ego. It was the same action. It was the same breathing process. But you know what? One was mad, ready to like unalive somebody, and then the other one was like, this water is unaliving me. Oh man. So that was pretty fun. Then my money came in, so yeah, I don't get much every day, but I'm learning, it's nice getting paid every day, even though it's not a lot. It's nice. You don't have to worry or expect it, you just got to look at the time. And normally it come in right on time. And so I put a little payment, put a little money towards this bill, put a little money toward that bill, put a little gas in the car, felt good. And I'm like, man, so productive. And I wanted to be super productive when I first woke up, but my energy wasn't in the right spot. So I decided to do some Wim Hof. I did some energy realignment, body work with my crystals. And bro, it's been vibing. I'm in a whole good space, feeling good, about to go do some laundry. And so it's just like, nice. I say that just to say that when you pay attention to the energies, again, and you're able to recognize the energies around you, and then you can recognize how you're interacting with those energies, it allows you to be more aware and cognizant of what to do and when to do it, how to do it, why you should do it, and who you're doing it for. All your metacognitives, but now it's in a physical, real world state. So that is what prompted me to even talk about the pop quiz, because when I'm over here at the splash pad, you know, I feel weird. I felt weird at first because I'm an adult playing around like this, you know, but it just made me remember all the times where I was going to public pools in Los Angeles, California. And I would go to pools, go to parks. You just had to do certain things because it was a public place, and you just learned certain things as a kid. And so when I'm over here drying off, you know, I could have just went to the bathroom, but I already learned, been on beaches and stuff. I could just put on a towel, change like that kind of thing. And so I did that, and it just, all the recall memory that just started popping up, that's really what I was focused on. And that is really the whole point of why you got to identify the energy so you can see what you're recalling. And I'm happy that I was able to recall part of that. And I'm feeling really good, feeling light. And at the end of the day, I'm happy and I'm ready to keep grinding, keep going, keep doing what we need to do. So with that being said, we're going to do this reading that is going to tell you what you need to do. The last message told us to go to the ocean. I went to the water and I feel great. So, I mean, if you don't believe me, I don't care what day you see this, just go do exactly what I'm saying. I'm sorry, but that's just the teacher side of me. It's like, bro, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Trust me, see it, do it first, and then talk about it second. Do it first, and then talk about it second. Because some of your questions will be answered when you do it. And so, that's it. I did it, and guess what? It led me to this second reading. So this reading got three well, it's not going to be piles like that. We just got three cards we're going to pull. Then we're going to pull three clarifiers and then get a final message. And the point is to see what you need to do for your physical body, see what you need to do for your non-physical body, and then see how you can bring the fire to temper those things together to create an emotional value upon it. So, physical, non-physical, and then spiritual. You got your physical body, your mind, and then your spirit. And then I'll give you your emotional or your soul. All right. Okay, so what do we need to know about our body? What do we need to know about our body today? So that's our body. What do we need to know about our mind? And then what do we need to know about our spirit? Fire energy. Spirit. Fire energy. Temperance. That is what's happening with this fire energy. Boom. That's crazy. So, alright. Okay, family changes. So, man, I'm sorry about this light. I went to the shade and I was selfish, focused on me opposed to looking at y'all. So, in our body, we have to keep the faith with our spiritual growth. In our mind, we need a dietary change. And then in our spirit, we need emotions. So if I had to piggyback on a continuation of what we talked about in the previous energy, we were talking about how the energies of the past was being removed completely. And so the whole point was, if you was to go to the ocean, then you have the opportunity to see all the new emotions you want to use to fill into your 10 of cups. So if we was to start here with, let's say, our mind, I got paid, right? I wanted to instantly go and just get some food real quick and then do what I need to do. But last time we was talking about this, how I wanted to get the rallies and get them good old fries, you know, them French fries. I wanted to go and eat those things, but it's telling us we need to focus on a dietary change. And so for me, I'm not looking at this as changing what you eat. I'm thinking this is more so of where you eat. So in my mind, I want to just run into this Jack in the Box and get some tacos because they're cheap. That's it. I just wanted to go get some cheap ass food, know that I ate today, and then be good. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe I should go get more tacos and bring it to some of these park people. And so I'm just thinking about all of these things, right? This is why this is probably in your mind space. This dietary change is on your mind. So for me, just because I'm thinking about this as I'm thinking about it, for you, what this is telling me is that you have been thinking about making some kind of changes in your diet or for your mind. I don't know if this is just entirely food, because diet is what you digest, right? The DI refers to us breaking things apart or splitting into two. A dipole, that is what that means. Di means two, just like bi means two. But di means two separating, like a contrast, and then bi means two coming together, okay, like a comparison. When I used to teach that, again, in the classroom, contrast and comparison, they're both comparing things. Why? Just contrast and comparison, they're the same thing. But when you're comparing things, this is a fourth grade understanding. When you're comparing things, you're comparing the things that are the same. When you're contrasting things, you're comparing things that are different. Here's your example. This is a dog. This is a cat. I can compare their ears. What is the thing that they have that is the same? The cat and the dog both have ears. So we can compare the ears. That's comparable. I have a cat. I have a dog. Let's contrast them. Okay, well, what are we going to contrast? Let's contrast the ears. The dog has floppy ears. The cat has pointy ears. What do they both have? What are we comparing? We're comparing the ears. But what is the contrast between the ears? Now you got to use an adjective. Oh, the dog's ears are floppy. Oh, the cat's ears are pointy. This is a contrast. Again, we're still comparing, but we're comparing the quality from what we see or the condition of what we see. These are higher level nouns, but they're injected into this basic understanding of a noun for the simple display of what we call an adjective. I can describe them differently. And that's it. So I did all of that because we're adults here, but I did all of that just to show you that, yes, you can use adjectives to contrast things. And that's it. But most people see contrast as just different things at all. If you got ears, then they got foots, right? Well, how many foots do they have? Well, I'm a centipede. I got a bunch of foots, individual foots. Oh, but then I'm a human. I got 2 feet because it's the same. So one segment plane. So I know this seems a little bit irrelevant, but what I'm saying to you is what you're ingesting and then breaking down into its or its dietary or its partial nutritional areas, that's the diet, you're breaking it down to its nutritional components. What are you going to change about what you're breaking down? So again, here is a white butterfly. I like to call white butterflies moths, but they're not. I like to call moths night butterflies. And then I like to call butterflies daytime moths. I do that so people think about what we're looking at. Moths and butterflies are very similar in what they look like. But me personally, I'd rather look at a picture of a moth and I'd rather touch a butterfly. Let a butterfly land on me. Have a moth land on me? Fuck no. Nasty. Ugh, terrible looking. Moths are scary as fuck to me. They look so nasty, especially the bigger they get. And for some reason, big ass moth and when I was in Arizona, big ass moth like the Goliath Arizona moth, that thing would always find its way in my house. never see them around, but they will always be in. No matter which apartment I was in, they would always come in there. And maybe it was a protectional thing, but I always would leave my doors open for my cats when I had them. So guess what? That invited other creatures into my home too, are the energies of the spirits. So the point is, when you leave doors open, things happen, and you have to digest those things as they come through. Just like when I would open my door, have a big ass moth come in, appreciate the moth's beauty for what it is, but I'm not about to go to fuck to sleep with this big ass thing in my house. What am I going to do? I don't want to touch it. I don't want to kill it. And I don't want that bitch flying around. Come here, cat. Help. But then most of the time, they would just look at the goddamn moth and play with it or some shit. So eventually, you just got to let it live. And I eventually had to change my viewpoint on how I was breaking down that situation. This is dietary change on the mind side. So maybe you're digesting information in a new way now. Maybe I'm breaking it down for you in a simplified way that seems convoluted, but it actually still makes sense. I don't know. But what I do know is that there's things in your mind that you want to change. And so because you got this clean slate, you have to follow your purple intuition. I don't know what it is for you. For me, again, I like to give my own example. I am now, after my ego death yesterday, I'm open to anything. Again, I'm not going to restrict my diet. I'm just going to know what the fuck I want. I'm not going to limit myself from anything any longer, because the limitations put blockages on parts of me that doesn't even understand why it's being limited. So in the case of what the prime example of where that came from was drinking. Again, I've had struggles with drinking ever since I started drinking. And that's why I don't drink, really. But I don't feel bad for the times that I do drink, even though the last time I drunk, I had the cat situation with the cops and I almost went to jail. But the drinking wasn't the bad thing. The bad thing was me leaving them. And so here's the dude from yesterday with his dog. He just walked the fuck up watching me do my reading. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm glad I didn't unalive his ass, because he's just trying to live his life, and me too. But it's just funny that, he just popped up right now. So I'm thinking about it differently. I'm digesting that situation differently, because I don't care. I want to go buy you some damn tacos kind of vibe, because I got the money to do it. But you see, when I do get money and things like that, how I instantly want to just go give and do stuff, which is why my number of the day is to do what? Slow down and do shit differently. There's another random dude over here too. He's just sitting here, don't know what the fuck he doing, but throwing some shit away, I guess. I'm not gonna not look at you, but if you're gonna sit here in front of me, I'm gonna call you out and you're gonna be on motherfucking camera. Look at this nigga. So, yeah. Anyways, now let's move into the body. So the physical side of what we're doing here is we're looking at keeping the faith through our spiritual growth. So even though I'm looking at the changes that I'm going, looking at the changes that I'm looking to attempt, looking at the new mentalities that I'm bringing in, the new egos that I'm digesting, the new egos that I'm planning on adopting, again, all of these things just like a diet. I'm just thinking about it on my mindset now. Physically, I'm going to keep the faith of what I've been doing. So even though it's been a struggle, I have new opportunities to outlet things that were struggling. Like going to the splash pad and allowing myself to experience something brand new. Allowing myself to experience something brand new. Why? Because it was old. It's new for this adult, but that's shit that I used to do all the time as a kid. And so because I used to do all of those things as a child, those are the cool things that will allow me to keep my faith and then see my spiritual growth. Guess what? This faith is full of purple with a little bit of orange. I had to create a new opportunity. I had to go back to an opportunity that I had prior when I was a kid, when I used to create those happy memories. Again, those happy memories of the past was me studying for a pop quiz I didn't know was going to happen. I was just enjoying studying, just enjoying my time. But then, boom, didn't know I was going to get a pop quiz. And guess what? That's the keep the faith aspect. And guess what? Here I am. I got my orange butterfly, which is the experience. But instead of being around purple flowers, we're in these lower chakras. That's just my earthly energies. I'm not going to call one single chakra out because isn't it a combination of red, orange, and yellows? You even got some green on here too. So to me, this is completely the earthly plane. So whatever you got going on physically, keep going with the physical because it's going to change. Why? Because our mindsets are changing. And so as your mind goes, the body will follow. The body is following you. Keep the faith that you're spiritually growing, even though you can't force your spirit to grow physically. You can't. You have to allow your body to accept the changes that it is going through. You have to allow your body to accept the changes it's experiencing. Again, I could have sat in my car and not have done any of the things that I wanted to do or did this morning and just focused on wanting to try to be financially stable, just work. But that's the whole point. If I change my mind on what work is, then I can change my physical body. And this is the basic principle behind all spiritual practices. You have to have the right mindset. So, this is another thing on top of this is as I'm changing my physical, right? That's what this side is. This is the physical world. As I'm changing my physical, I have to understand that I can't change every part of my physical. But that doesn't mean I can't recall different spiritual aspects upon myself. So when I'm looking at the spiritual growth, drop the spiritual. In order to grow, you need to have change. In order to grow, you need to have change. And because this is the physical, I had to take a physical changed action. A physical changed action. I already had a physical action. I already had a changed action, but I had to put those things together because, again, I've experienced splash pads before. But I had to change that experience because I'm in a new physical place in my own body. I'm an adult now. I can go back to another time where I was an adult at a splash pad, but I didn't run around and play like I did this time. I was just an adult. And I was babysitting at that time. And it wasn't just me by myself with strangers around. It was me with my girlfriend at the time and her niece, her nephew. And again, that was us being our little fake pretend family because we loved that little baby so much. And we wanted to adopt him because he's the middle child and we just thought that he was being neglected. Not realizing that they had so much support from their parents, her parents. But again, because we were both water signs, we felt all the emotions between everybody and we just wanted to make sure that we were taking pressure off of other people, even though we were putting pressures on ourselves. We had that much faith in our own abilities to take care of people and things around us, which is crazy considering we were just college grads. But we were together for so long at that time, we understood each other. Again, I wish I was able to bring some of this stuff out a lot more confidently like I'm doing now, because things would have been completely different. I don't know if things would have changed outcomes, but things would have occurred differently. She used to always say I was like Ralph Smart. I was another form of Ralph Smart, but I didn't understand what that meant because she always said I should have been a teacher. I just could not understand her because she would just say shit and I would understand and hear, but then the ego side of me would be like, nah, I don't understand. I need a conversation. She couldn't give the conversation. So now I'm here still using those memories to propel and fuel me forward, because guess what? Now we're getting into our fire energy. And in our fire energy, we have what we call the emotions, which is the exact opposite. Fire energy is a feeling, water energy are emotions. A feeling is a sensation, that is just impulses. A emotion is a garnished impulse with an identity. It knows itself as itself more than what you know of it to be. An emotion like sadness will be sadness with or without you. That's why I can be sad, you can be sad, and they can be sad over there. Sadness is its own creation. That is an emotion. But the feeling of sadness, because sadness feels differently for each person, that's a fire energy. It has to be taking action within your body in order for you to even recognize it. So the recognition of what we have here is what we call an emotions. And if we're going to use the previous reading, we're looking at the new emotions established by you taking the time to go enjoy more water. We died yesterday. We were defeated yesterday. And this Capricorn new moon or full moon has allowed us to create a brand new version of ourselves, the meiosis. We are generating a brand new form of us. We're having a baby of our own self. In that creation of ourself, we have ended the debauchery of the previous cups, those 7 of cups from before. Now we had a chance to project what we would like within our newfound 10 of cups. And in this case, what do we need now is some of those brand new emotions. And those new emotions will propel us to do different things, which is what we need to know right now. So, if I had to read this for you, I don't have to, but I want to. If I had to read emotions for you, just so I can give you more of this understanding, you are going to understand what I mean by the progression, by the sensational aspects and the sensational differences between the emotion being its own thing and you feeling it. I think I channeled earlier at the very beginning how we need to identify the energies that we're interacting with. That is why. This is why. We got to identify these sensations so we just don't continue to sum up all of these emotions as the same thing. Just feelings. No. Stop that. Give a new mindset on that. Change how you view feelings. Feeling is just a feeling. That's a sensation. That's a better word to use instead of feeling. Oh, you in your feelings. No, I am sensing something from you, and it's creating an emotional outlet called this or that. It is a process upon what we call a feedback loop, because your neuronal system is based upon feedback systems. I touch something, but the something touches me back, and I gotta have a conversation about what the fuck just happened. And this is that feedback loop, and then you say, oh, I just touched something hard. Ouch. Ooh, wow, this is super soft, fluffy. We have to understand that that dynamic that is being played is a dynamic that is occurring through our sensations. And those things is what we call feelings, because you can feel the sensation, but the sensation occurs through your ears, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, right? Your sensible organs. But those things create feelings. I feel like this food won't be for me. I don't like the smell that I'm sensing. That is the idea of a process that we go through, but we don't go through it like that. So I'm here to break it down for you so you can comprehend, and then you can continue living your life as if nothing changed. But you are the one who's going to need to be prepared for that pop quiz. So As we're preparing ourselves for this pop quiz, we're looking at the new emotions that have been established. Just to give you some more intake. This is blue. I'm communicating to you, so you need to communicate with yourself about all the beautiful love that you have for yourself in this newfound era of a fresh ego. The ego was never going to die. It's the phoenix. That is the whole idea of why a Scorpio energy, why a Taurus energy, why a Leo energy, and why an Aquarius energy, why these energies are fixated. It is because the ego is fixated on its own existence. Those are the progenitor astrological signs, because those are the nodal points between everything else. Without those fixed signs, nothing else can be what they are. There's no such thing as a start or a finish if you don't have a middle to establish the difference between them. I don't know if this is my lane or if this is your lane if I don't have a white dot lane to tell me the difference. I don't know if this number is at the top or this number is at the bottom if I don't have a fraction bar to tell me the difference. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm trying to give you an understanding so you can see more deeply, but in a very simple way, because you already learned this in school. You already learned this through your life. You already know this because you teach people. No matter which way it go, what we know is that you got to use what you know. And now we have to change how we view what we know, and we got to do it with a clean blank slate. Emotions. You are evolving and progressing. So it's natural for you to have different perspectives now than what you did before. You drew this card because your feelings are speaking to you. Oh my God, what? Your feelings are speaking to you, but what are they saying? That's the emotion that you're going to establish. What are these feelings saying? All of these sensations come together as a feeling, and then that feeling has to be translated into its own individuality, and now we call that individual feeling an emotion, and we can see that emotion for what that is and what it does and how it makes me feel and how it makes other people feel, and we can look at the differences between those feelings from the same exact emotion. Let's continue. You drew this card because your feelings are speaking to you, and it's important for you to listen. Ignored emotions only grow louder and stronger. That's the debauchery. That is the contamination. The ignorance of you, the ignorance of yourself is how you taint your own cups and lead your ace to become the 7. You don't even know why you got all these emotions because you've been ignoring them. So the 7 of Cups shows us a whole bunch of different emotions. There's something in your life that is becoming intolerable to you. You once were able to endure, even enjoy the situation. But because you have changed, so too have your emotions. It has been terrible being homeless, bro, traveling from state to state, trying to enjoy this as a vacation. But because this is a vacation, no one ever has a home while being on vacation. Everything is always temporary. So these emotions that you don't want to address, they're just temporary. But they're not even emotions yet because you won't even address how you feel. You don't even want to say I feel bad or feel good. You got to change that. You don't even want to say this is good for me or bad for me. You got to change that. You don't even want to say, I want to try this, I don't want to try that, I want to drop it. You ain't even thought about it. You got to change that. This card asks you to be honest with yourself and to take inventory or account of how you feeling. It's not knowing it, it's just saying, hey, little baby, how you feeling today? Oh, you feel sad? Give me a hug. Again, I use examples like that because if you had a kid and you saw the kid sad, that's the kind of language you would use for that baby. So use it for the baby within you, just like I went to the splash pad and I had to use all of those energies to talk to the baby within me. Because not only was it a baby in me, That baby was just reborn as a phoenix yesterday because I died yesterday, woke up fiery, and then I changed. So now this new naked ego has just been established with a happy memory of the past. Again, it's still a memory. It's still something that happened to me. But guess what? The differences are I now am an adult. I've grown. So there's a guy who's walking up. He's throwing rocks towards where cars are driving. If I gotta do what I need to do, I'm gonna fucking do what I need to do. I'm just saying. If I gotta stop this reading because you want to do something crazy, you just threw another rock. Yeah, you better have thrown that shit. I will unalive you right here, right now. Throw a rock at you. So yeah, be mad. He's going through his ego shit right now. But what I'm saying is that those emotions, I probably would just got out the car and said something. But nope, this isn't yesterday. I'm going to let people live, and I'm just going to continue to do these things. And I'm not going to allow these things to change me. But if I need to change the things and grow, I will. But the idea is I'm going to keep the faith that I'm on the right path. So physically, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Mentally, I'm going to describe the changes. And then he's leaving. But he might be just going to go grab another rock, which he is going to go grab more rocks. Again, I'm going to keep the faith. But if something happened, again, just understand that it's about to go down. So I just want to say that. So brace yourselves. Anyways, you don't have to resort to drastic actions to solve anything. I don't have to. But if I have to, then again, I will. Sometimes it's enough just to acknowledge your own feelings so that your heart feels heard and understood. Look at this nigga. That's what I'm talking about. He got two big ass rocks in his hands. But I kept my faith, did I not right now? Did I not keep my faith? I did. Did I not establish how I felt about the situation? I did. Oh my God, I would be so mad. I already had the cops break out one of my windows. I don't want to have some other random Joe Schmo do the same shit. At least they claim they're going to pay for it, but I ain't heard from them. This dude, he's just a regular dude. He would have to have the cops called on him. So, again, for me, I've had people just randomly throw rocks at me and shit while riding my bike because they were mad or walking down the street. Whatever the fuck they got going on. But for me right now doing this reading, I'm trying to give you a real life example. And guess what? That was a pop quiz on life. I can't be here telling you to do these things if I didn't have the courage and faith to just do it. And I kept my faith physically, kept my eyes on my car, kept doing this reading, kept trying to read, and guess what? It's showing you how much spiritually I've grown, how much I've grown spiritually, but how much spiritually I've grown. My spirit has grown, and it's showing my growth physically. But we're talking about the emotions. Again, my emotions were starting to get riled up. I was going to get hyped, but I already told myself, hey, if this happened, do this. If this happened, do that. There's so many things that I can think about afterwards, like the fact that I can call the cops, like the fact that I can beat him the fuck up, like the fact that I could unalive his ass. There's so many options right now. So guess what? Because I understand and I'm aware of my situation, I can temper my emotions a lot better, and I don't have to run off of impulse feelings and sensations. No, I can just say, hey, I'm good right now, and if I have to not be good later, I'll still be good post. Sometimes, again, it's just enough to acknowledge your own feelings so that your heart feels heard and understood. The only reason why my heart was feeling that way is because it wants to protect the things that we was just talking about. I got a fresh, naked baby over here, a brand new ego. I don't want to taint it immediately by going and fighting some random dude who wants to throw rocks because they're mad at their own life. I'm mad at certain situations I got going on too, but today I'm not angry anymore because that ego was angry yesterday. So now today I'm not angry. I'm just aware. I'm acknowledging these things and I feel content with that because I have the mindset to make the changes afterwards. I don't have to respond the same way. So, in your fire today, additional meanings could mean you're getting guidance from a therapist or joining a support group, or again, replace therapist with mentor, counselor, tarot card reader. That's what I just gave you. So today in your fire, I just gave you some really good guidance. Life showed us this shit right now too. It was crazy. You seen all of these people being weird. It's because I got really good energy right now, but I'm protecting it because of where I'm at and what I'm doing and how I'm exuding my own feelings. I feel good. I'm going to put that out there, but I feel good enough to know which emotions will feel good to come out. Dealing with an emotional loved one. I just dealt with an emotional dude. He's walking around throwing big ass rocks at just shit in places where cars are. He is clearly going through some shit. He would be somebody I would not give tacos to if I would have bought them tacos. But that's why I didn't buy the tacos, because I don't know how those other people are neither. So it's all about seeing the energies that you're interacting with. Because the more we interact with these energies, the more we can start to see how we can deal with the emotions that stem from those sensations that those energies produce. Energy just comes to you, you sense it, you call it a feeling, and then that feeling is emoting throughout the world as its own. You might be empathetically absorbing others people's emotions. Again, if I would have took on his anger and his emotion and got out like, what the fuck you doing? I'm gonna beat your, all of that kind of shit. If I would have came out with the fire, right, and matched his anger, probably would have had some problems. So this is why this card is here as the fire, because we have the willpower to take these actions. It's us. But we have the ability to keep the faith on our spiritual growth on the physical side to the actions we take or don't. And then we have the same ability to look at what we need to change our mindset, which prevents us from keeping faith, which prevents us from growing, or which progresses our faith, or which progresses our growth. So if I had to give myself a grade right now, I think I just passed with flying colors. I got an A+. I just got an A+ on this situation that I'm explaining to you, and guess what? Don't know if I'm going to have an A+ on the next one or not. I just know that I'm going to continue to keep the faith, continue to create beautiful things that allow me to recall and grow spiritually somewhere in the future. And at the end of the day, it's helping me change my mind, which is helping me change my emotions. Let's bring out the Thoth deck, baby, for our final message. Okay, that other guy just came, one of the other guys just came back. And then that guy in the yellow shirt with the rocks, he's over there by that exit. So I'm going to go this way and just go away from those energies, even though he's walking towards this way now. But yeah, let us get our final message and let us move forward and let us see what we can do. What can we do? What's our final message on what we needed to know? We needed to know we needed to keep our faith and our spiritual growth for our physical body. We needed to know that we needed to make a dietary change for our mindset, or just change how we're digesting information as it's coming into our mind. And then we needed to know that we needed to use our feelings, acknowledge our feelings, to generate the proper emotion that we want to feel and sense and interact with. Okay, so what is our final message? Final message. It's funny because he had on a yellow shirt, yellow and blues, communicating courage, had the courage to communicate those emotions to y'all. I was hyped. I was a lot of good energy being exuded. But it's our final message. It's the final message that we need to know. It's our final message that we need to know. Temperance! I swear to God, I'll be on this shit. I promise you. I've been reading cards for a long time for myself, man, for like 6-7 years now for myself. And the first time I showed 2 people, I was so weirded out how they responded to me because I just thought they were cards. Just nothing new, nothing crazy to me, but they saw it as something bad. And they didn't say it to me though, so I just saw the sensations, felt the feelings. No feelings about it now because I'm channeling all this information so well. Said this is all about temperance. That's what this is. This card in this is all about the black person turning white, the white person turning black, the male turning female, the female turning male, the red lion turning white, the red eagle or the white eagle turning red. Okay, all of the water starting the fire putting out the water. It's all about tempering, but in opposite, in the reverse. So again, just like this is normally emotions are considered to be water energy, this water energy fell into the fire zone. So again, all of this comes down to a temperance, but it's a dual temperance, double temperance, or more importantly, it's the opposite. Once you understand that I am the opposite, I still got to balance it. Again, if I'm a Scorpio, the opposite to a Scorpio is a Taurus. So I need to be a Taurus, but then I still need to balance that Scorpio energy. If I'm a Leo, the opposite side to a Leo is an Aquarius. So I need to be an Aquarius and then balance my Leo side. If I'm a Capricorn, the opposite side to a Capricorn is a Cancer. So I need to be that father energy, and then I need to switch into being the mother energy, and then balance being the mother energy with the father energy. In other words, I gotta see myself in another person's shoes. If I am my wife, am I doing my same or all my wife's duties? Am I going to understand her better? If my wife is becoming my husband, or me now, if she is going to work and doing all the things that I have to do, will she understand me better now? This is what we're talking about. So it's about tempering yourself. So by going and being a part of somebody else's shoes. And so in the case of me right now, again, I'm on vacation is what I see and what I say to most people. But in reality, I'm homeless. I'm around a whole bunch of homeless people right now. Like there's this random homeless dude right here, but he all hurt and fucked up. But the thing is, I'm just like them right now. Just like them. But I don't look like it, I don't act like it, and I ain't doing things like that. But I'm in their shoes. So I'm understanding so many deep levels. Just like this card. These cards are so deep and layered. It really takes somebody being able to go out and do these things. And it is, again, this isn't bad because if you think about it, aren't there old people who retire and just travel? Don't people leave America and go to Europe and backpack? We are always leaving and doing things. But if you're not leaving and going to a new place, if you're not changing your environment and putting yourself in other people's shoes, you will never understand these other people. So that's the whole point of us in this temperance mode. That's the whole point of this full moon energy in Capricorn. We're seeing this ego come out of us, but we're looking at changing where the ego can live and thrive. Because again, what is the most terrible thing for you is somebody's goals, wishes, and ambitions. Again, to move around and travel, some people wish they can do that. And some people hate the fact that they can't just have a home staying in one spot. This is why we have to temper these energies. So, I appreciate you guys being here, spending this time with me. Knight of Swords at the bottom. We're developing from that Prince energy earlier. And hopefully you know what you need to know for your mind, body, heart, and soul right now. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for listening.